turn of the tide, I can see an innate desire. Sword in hand, warriors side by side, I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side, but that's what this man digs. Be it might, and unlikely allegiance, we will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Glorious death. Our goal, our mission is clear, as we ride against a dark empire. By my soul, may the last thing they hear be the roar of this raging choir. Listen, be the savagery mindset. Not today, we'll let loose and find it. Brutal will define our reaction. Rip out the throat of each one in their faction. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for righteous the path. They shall remember glorious death. Glorious. The angels have fallen, my allies are beaten and broken down. I shed not a tear. After all, this is why we are here. A war we were not supposed to win. If I'm to die tonight, I'll kill every demon that stands in my spine. Go! You must say me a fool. I stand on the skeletons of every goal. But if I'm to die on this very night, I'll kill every demon that stands in us. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for righteous the path. They shall remember glorious death. Make them remember glorious death. Glorious
And we are live. So I'm only doing one of the songs. We've got Eric July is live streaming, doing a closeout stream. So we might even go ahead and pull that up first. But Horseman 3 launched today. So let's see, we've got live stream. Boo, 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 boo. Here we go. Subscreen. No video file.
trying to please them because they conflate the
Here we
two.
go.
Because not trying to please them means bitching and moaning about racism all the damn time.
Yeah, so this is Ripper versus white nationalists. So this is more like of the bottom feeders just talking about how the Rippaverse is racist. I mean, I've mentioned this in the Rippaverse apologetics piece that the first wave of criticism against the Rippaverse were people who were the leftists that hated Eric July and just said, Rippaverse is racist, even though Isom is a black person. It's got. I remember there was someone saying there's no black women in the Rippaverse, and then, we've got Altona. I mean, now we've got Bloodroof as well, who the fans love. So it was never really about like we don't like it because of the color of people's skin or like they're not white. It's the identity politics associated. Of course, it's the race swapping. Like there's no like anger that Isom, Avery Silman is black because he was always originally that character. Now, if you take like Brian Solari and race swap him to be black and then go on about how progressive that is, then that would be a really stupid thing to do. Same thing would happen if you made Isom like a blonde hair, blue eyed white person, right? And that's the same way the fans feel about race swapping. Like we were race swap Daredevil. So I mean, fun thing, guys. I talk. I'm not sure if I talked about this. My grandmother, she passed away recently. A little over a month ago. Yeah, almost 2 months ago at this point, because it was beginning of January. We're almost beginning of March. Time flies, guys. It's going to be December again. So we got Merc Lounge in the chat. Nice to see you. But anyways, my parents cleaned out her old home. Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, the woman was 93, so she lived a long time, and I talked to her every week for about a little over 3 years. It was March in 22 when my grandfather passed away. I mean, both my grandfathers are dead, but it was my maternal grandfather that was, her husband, and he passed in March of 22. So I talked to her every week, and she talked about reading comic books. She's like, I read Superman. This is like Superman back in 1939. Pretty sure when it was like what Jerry Segal. People are coming in Merc Lounge. I guess I think a lot of them are probably watching Eric's stream. So as you can see, we got Eric's stream there, but he's just talking about like more races. But anyway, she had a bunch of comic books, and my parents shipped them out to me. And one of them is this Daredevil comic. This is from 1983. Look at this. This is a ad for Return of the Jedi on the Atari 2600. And I mean, this is just like really cool stuff. Like you've got like that classic like newsprint. Like if John Longbox was in the chat, you would like have a field day with everything that I've got from this. This is like it's an absolute treasure trove. Of course, like some of the stuff is in bad condition because some of these books are like basically they're all. I was born in '98, so they're all older than me. But like, look at this. This is an absolute Origins of Marvel Comics by Stan Lee. This is like an absolute like just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Like that is just beautiful. Beautiful, and it's got that like classic like newsprint feel. So I definitely got to read through all of this. It's like a massive box of books that I got, and like got like Iron Man, X-Men, Teen Titans, and this is all like golden. Well, yeah, this is all like silver, probably like silver golden age stuff, even stuff from like the 70s and the 80s. Really, really cool stuff. This is definitely back before we had to worry about like people
blaming
being
white
accused of
folks
being white
all
nationalists.
the time.
So.
Those are the only two options that you have according to them. You do those, you can sit up there. This is what gets me, and I hate to get on my soapbox because I don't do this as often as I did, but this is what gets me about these clowns. You can be as self-destructive. Get the camera on me. You can be as self-destructive as a black person as you want to be. You can gun up your own fucking community. You can jack old folk. You can run your community into the ground. But as long as you foam at the mouth at white people, you will never hear a black person say that you are a lesser than black person. That will.
Yeah, no, I agree with Eric. It's not Eric July on this. And it's a whole crabs in the bucket mentality. If you have like any black person who dresses well, speaks properly, tries to seek gainful employment, then they're quote unquote acting white. It's a very toxic thing, in like in the black community, like in the American black community. I would say like it's an intentional thing, but that's like I think that's like out of the scope of what live stream is meant to be about. So Merklon is saying that's nice, but I don't care about DC and Marvel. I really don't that much either, but like this is classic stuff. So I think just as anyone who would appreciate comic book history, I think it's a good thing. We got Z Comics in chat. I did back Horse with No Strings #1. I finally did. I'm not sure if I should have, man. Oh God, I got a pay cut at work. I was making 25. Now it's 18 because I had a forklift accident. They're switching roles. It's a temp job. Oh man, I got to get off of like being a wagey because it's so demoralizing being a wagey. But nobody wants to buy my books, and I'm not good at marketing myself. Oh yeah, no problem, guys, no problem. So yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, although I can job. I mean, I hate job hopping, but it's like what I've been doing since I've moved almost a year ago, just switching jobs because like there's always like circumstances that come up where it's like, oh, I'm working the shift, I'm working nights, I can't work nights. Oh, I worked this job and then I got a better one. Oh, that one wasn't working out, so now I'm on to this one. And this one, like I had they're not letting me use the forklift because I had one freaking accident. And I could be more aware with it, but it's just like yeah, it's saying join the border patrol. Oh, I because then they would ship me off. I've been to El Paso. I don't feel like doing the Southwest border. I like being here. And I had talked about becoming a Marine. I got to the stage where I was supposed to this week go to MEPS. So that's the Military Entry Processing Station. I would have had to shave. It's one of the reasons I didn't do it. There's also someone in the Army I talked to, and he talked me out of it. But yeah, it was big. Like, I didn't want to shave. I was like, I don't know, American Texan who watches the VODs, he says, I'd be a good Marine. The thing is, like, I would hate taking orders. Like, I was playing Black Ops, like, and Reznov says, like, in the mission where you play as him, it's like, I was a soldier. I still believed in orders, which is like a really like a deep thing to say. But that's what a soldier is. Like you get your orders. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to touch your nuts and bend you over at MEPS. Yeah, because you have to have both of your testicles to serve in the military. So yeah, it's like basically what you would do like when you're a pediatrician, and they would just ask you to cough, like check if you have hernias and poke and prod you and like watch you pee into a cup and all of that fun stuff. It was like it would be a 2-day process. But anyways, like I had gotten to there on I was supposed to go Wednesday first. I didn't. And Wednesday is the day my forklift accident happened. And so if I had gone, then it wouldn't have happened. But the whole thing that's happening now probably would have happened later at some point anyways. And who knows anyways. But anyways, yeah, like I said, making a lot less money at this job. And I was like, it was like decent cash. Pretty decent. Now it's like the only saving grace is the overtime. Like I can work as much overtime as I can. So but I have to work like 9-hour days, come in a bit on Saturdays just to like try and make ends meet. Whereas like with the other hourly relate, I could do the overtime and that was optional. But so like I said, I got something to be like an Amazon delivery driver. Like that's not a fun job. It's like one, it's easy-ish, and two, like it's got a rate that's similar to what I was making before 23. But anyways, my employment situation aside, yeah, I had considered becoming a Marine. I talked about that, and like I didn't want to go through MEPS, and like I didn't want to go and get because once you get through MEPS, what happens is that you get sworn in, you sign a contract, and then you get a date to ship out. You get on the delayed entry program, which was my plan to have like a year before I would have to go to Paris Island, and then become a Marine. And if I could get the MOS that I wanted to, which would have been 1142, been as an electrician with the Corps. That would have been a decent gig. There are better ways to become an electrician than giving 4 years of my life in active duty. Honestly, I now might be a bit too old for it. Like I'm in the age range just barely. It's 17 to 28. So I'm within that age range, um, but like I'm like at the stage of my life where it's probably better if I like settle down, and like plant roots somewhere. I was talking with somebody, he's like, "Oh, you're at the age where you would want to get married." He's trying to like convince me not to do it. I'm like, I've established I don't think I'm gonna get married. But but like where like, if I was like 18, I was like even I was like 20 years old, and I was like completely aimless. I mean, I still basically am because, like I said, I'm just hopping from job to job. The whole thing with the warehouse jobs is just like it's like a circumstance of like how things happened rather than like, oh, I was so passionate about logistics. I just wanted to get into logistics. It's not me. I worked for Amazon. I was trying to get into IT. There's this company that contacted me. I interviewed, they hired me, and when I moved up here, I had the resume in warehousing jobs, and I've been basically hopping from those jobs between those jobs. And I don't know, man. I kind of wish I took a little bit more time in the summer and just been like, hey, I have a decent amount of savings. I don't have any payments. I can take my time finding something that's right for me. Um, but hey, hindsight is 2020. Yeah, just a bit hectic that like they wouldn't like. I don't know what's going to happen next week. It's going to be fun though. But I already got like stuff kind of lined up. So, but yeah, like being an Amazon, like I'll hire anybody basically, and it's like yeah, it's more than what I'd be making going forward. Just 18. It's like that's just not enough. And honestly, I like this place, but it's too freaking expensive, man. But the thing is like I need to get my income up. Like in the long term, if I want to like buy land up north and like actually homestead and like build out like a farm, like I need a lot of money to do that. And like I'm not going to do that being like a wagey at this rate. But like getting into comics, it's not going to make me money. Honestly, writing books, yeah, get your CDL. I had an interview with a company that would have trained me to do a CDL, and I drove. Yeah, I still when I was working in the auto glass job. So I drove up there, and I waited for like 15, 20 minutes at the place where I was supposed to. Never got an answer. I contacted the recruiter that contacted me. They never got me an answer to me. Yeah, I don't know. A CDL in the long term is like, I don't know, man. Once like the Tesla Semi, gets like fully functional, then like all auto self driving. So like it'll be the technology. Electric semi trucks, they're a long ways off. Like long haul trucking, the um the infrastructure is not going to be there for years, but like the technology of full self driving, like once that's perfected, you better believe that Tesla is going to haul that out to like Freightliner, or not haul that out, you know, license that out to like Freightliner and Mac, and you'll have a whole bunch of like automated trucks. And also, like being a truck driver, it's like such an unhealthy job, because you're sitting for long hours. I mean, it's something, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I want to become an electrician. That's so what I want to do. Like I said, I applied with the IBW. They're supposed to interview me this summer. So like if I get that, then I would take that. I feel very non-committal and like so unstable when like I'm constantly like switching between stuff and I don't know how much money I'm making. And oh man, I guess I'm a bundle of emotions over this because it just happened today. Where it's like, hey, you're getting a pay cut because you messed up on the forklift. And it's like, oh man, the forklift wasn't even rated, and I was trying to be careful, but I wasn't being careful enough. And there's like no opportunity. You're just one mistake, and like boom, $7 an hour less, or you got no, or we'll just let you go. It's like at least job. I mean, what I'll be doing now will be like I could just turn my brain off and do it. From my understanding, I'll find out on Monday. So going into work tomorrow. But anyways. Well, what I wanted to talk about wasn't my like woes of being a wagey. As much as I'm sure you guys love hearing me talk about that. Oh man, I mean, here's the thing. Like, at least I have a job, right? It's so many people who can't find jobs and are completely unhireable. There are guys that are like older than me that don't have a license or still living in their parents' basement and are like hopelessly in debt. So I got to count it where he can. Also, the Lord chastens those whom He loves. I think that's from the Psalter. But I read a book, Letters to Spiritual Children by Abbot Nikon. A very good, like 70 letters. This guy lived in he died in like 63 or so. And he was a Russian monk, I believe. And he wrote like a bunch of letters to his, spiritual children, like those he had pastoral authority over. And he says that a lot, like the Lord chastens those whom He loves. So take whatever happens without grumbling, which I'm doing right now. I'm complaining about it, but yeah, I mean, I'll be fine in the long term, God willing. It's just like it's a lot to process, and I feel like man, I keep messing up. And this is the whole thing. It's like I was in New York and I had the job. Like I didn't like the job, but like I was very sick of it. But like I knew how to do it. But that's the thing is like I'm not in that situation where like I know how to do it anymore. But anyways, what we have is the Horseman #3 is made available for pre-order. So this is going to release on the 8th of July in 2026. With June 8th, 2026 being that cutoff date. And this is just the 4 books. So only the book pack. Which honestly I really like. That is a good way to go about it. And let's see, in Horseman #3, Hector's keeps word technically by carrying the fight across city lines in the Chisos Park, a quiet suburb feeding Flores Park, drug-tated from behind manicured lawns and locked doors. A calculated raid on a sash house should have been routine. Instead, a nights the war the Horseman wasn't prepared to finish. Wounded, disoriented, and bleeding out in unfamiliar streets, Hector becomes a target of a relentless manhunt as gang enforcers sweep the neighborhood, kicking in doors, dragging shadows into light. Outgunned and running low on ammo, the Horseman is forced into hiding and into accepting help from the last place he ever expected to find it, with no backups, no safe exits, and enemies closing in. Hector must push past the limits of his body, reclaim the mask, and finish what he started, or be buried in a city he was never meant to save. Horseman rides again under the guidance of powerhouse creative team, Chuck Dixon, Joel Bennett, Fabio Jansen, Jay Brown, and then, of course, Invisible Art Studio. It's pretty much the team that's been, I think, working on the entire ongoing series from like #1 is settled in basically to that. I think even Fabio Jansen inked Vulcan Forest Park. It's just like Alpha Core #1 didn't work on it. Yeah, I can't wait for Horseman #3. It's like Horseman #2 ended in a very like exciting place. So Horseman #3 is going to pick up where that action left off quite well, and I absolutely love. So we got cover A is by Jack Jadson, Marco Martins as the colorist. I mean, this is just, we got like these like Batghoul turf looking type guys. Let's see, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, got Horseman right here. I don't know. I don't think these guys are wearing masks. I think they're actually like bat, type characters. Anyways, regardless, Jack Jadson made a cool one. So we got Pal Rodricks on cover B. So Pal Rodricks, if you guys don't know, is the artist for Perfect 10, Genuine Comics, which I genuinely, pun intended, recommend you guys read. And he does fantastic work. And I think he does, I'm not sure if he does Dream. I know he does Perfect 10. I'm pretty sure he does Dream Girl as well. But I know he does Perfect 10. That work is fantastic in Perfect 10. And this cover is just like, it's chef's kiss. Like, Power is such a fantastic artist. He's got like such a lock on how to use style. And this is an awesome one. And I'm glad Rippaverse gave him this commission. And hopefully he gets some interior work with the Rippaverse. Like, if I don't care if it's like a Rippazine, like if like he does like the short story Rippazine 7, I'll be a happy camper. But like, give Pal like some commission work. Like, give him like a mini series, a one shot. Like, I just want to read like, oh, man, I just want to see more of Pal's work. And he definitely deserves that, a good page rate from, Ripper First and like that consistent work. Well, I'm sure Dave pays him well, to do Perfect 10 and stuff, but I know Perfect 10 after issue 6 is basically going on a break for a little bit. So I think Powell would have like that opening to do stuff, and of course, like the relationship is there. So that's an interesting thing. But anyway, Powell, I love Powell's work. You can watch my Perfect 10 reviews and you can see more of it. So like I said, I'm really glad that he got this cover. So we've got Enrique Pina and James Frank as the colorist for this for this issue C. A lack of retro covers I'm noticing, which I'm kind of tacked about. Unless cover D. So yeah, this is a pretty classic one. This is a pretty basic one. You got Horseman with a shotgun. I don't know. The posing of the character is a bit to me. It looks a bit like I'm not saying like, oh, it's a fruity asset, but just the way it's drawn looks like a PS1 character to me. Like, I don't know. I just can't get that out of my head. But I do like the explosion effect, though. And I'm sure it'll look, really cool with that foil and embossing. But yeah, there's a lack. Like, basically, I think all these pre-order books have lacked a retro cover, which I'm disappointed. Are you guys disappointed? Because I'm disappointed. I love those freaking retro covers. So 56 pages, that seems to be like their standard, like this is how long their books are going to be. I like that. Of course, the 96 pages are nice, but 56, I think that's a good length. And with honestly, Horseman number 2, we just got like Horseman number 2 we got pretty recently. I can't remember. Yeah, it was sometime. Yeah, no, it wasn't this year. It was sometime last year that we got Horseman number 2 fulfilled. Well, it was a couple months ago. So, like, if I'm getting 56 pages of like Horseman number 3 every month, then I'm a happy camper. It's like 2 months, so it's a little bit more than like it being a monthly. But like Battle Beast, we got the first 6 issues, and then it's back on next month. It'll be coming back in March. Whew. Time flies, man. I gotta start reviewing comics again, but oh man, let's say my life is a mess. Honestly, I think like when I was in New York and I was still like living in my, I say my mom's basement, living with my parents, like things were simple, things were easy. There's a lot I didn't have to worry about, and now like, it's not just like paying the bills. It's like one aspect of it, but there's like all this stuff that's happened to me as a person, like emotionally. It's nice. I've learned a lot about myself, but it's also just sucked so much of my like ability to function as a person in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot of like mental capacity that's just like sucked up by like dealing with this. And then of course like the uncertainty you feel of like, hey, I don't really have a good ability to support myself better than a lot of people. There are people like 10 years older than me that like are living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm not that bad, but it's like in terms of like income, it's like, ugh. Yeah, we got FLA Music in the chat saying like, oh no. I do agree with you, 56 is a great length. But yeah, it's the whole thing. It's just really with my like employment situation. And honestly, like I got to do something like to start resolving it. Because like I'm just hopping from job to job and they all feel pointless. But I need like a career. Because I'm going to be 28 next month, and I really don't have like a career. I've just had jobs. And it's like I've got like it's better than like let's see. This is cover D by Han Gideon. And I'll talk about this one. This is a really cool one, and this is like a pretty different depiction of Horseman than I've seen. Of course, like he's of course like taking it down to the baddies, but like I love this like the action lines here, and just like the explosiveness. Like I just it's so cool. But there you go. If you see what I'm talking about, like the action lines here, the explosiveness, because I realized I didn't have the freaking thing on. But anyways, man, because like I use these live streams to like just rant about my personal life, which I probably shouldn't do. But anyway, like I just had this like thing happen today. So like it's on my mind. Let's see. It sounds like you have drive. I don't know. In some ways I do. I don't know. In some ways I don't. Um, I mean, I had the drive to like, pack up, to basically put all my stuff in the boxes, throw a bunch of crap in my car, and then say, "Hey, I'm moving states," and I barely think it's going to work because, like, I had, I camped for a week. I had 4 weeks of lodging, at an inn, and then I found my apartment, and then it was like, okay, let me find a job, and I've been finding like job after job after job. And none of them, like I said, I wanted to become an electrician because like getting into the trades, that's where the money is at. But it's just like I've been like, because I did the IBEW, so they'll interview me this summer, and if I fit with them, then I feel like okay, that's when it like I don't like unions, being like a libertarian and all that stuff, but like getting the skill to be an electrician from the union is probably a pretty decent deal. It's paid to my knowledge. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the place like it was like either like take this pay cut. I went from 25 to 18 because like I had a little accident on the forklift because I was using like the wrong forklift and it's a whole story. But anyways, it's like oh now I'm going to be making 18 an hour when I was making 25. And I was making 23 before at the last job. I just didn't, it was a bit of a mess with that job. But now in hindsight, I was like, maybe I should have kept it. But anyways, who knows? But I know several very wealthy electricians who are nearly a decade younger than me. Yeah, no, you can make bank doing it. And that's the thing is like, I'd love to build a homestead because I was looking like land. Honestly, there's like 19, like, oh man, it'd be pretty like if I became an electrician, I just stacked the cash. Then I could buy some land, and then I stack some more cash, and I get like a Toyota Tacoma, and then I just like haul like basically I do this over the course of one summer. I build all the structures, like I build a chicken coop, I build like a cabin for me to live in, I build like a barn for the pigs, a barn for like a cow. And then slowly I make it like a self-sustainable thing. And then like I also use that money as an electrician. Like I basically like I save that up and then I also like put enough money into investments, not just like IRA 401k, that's one thing, but I'm just talking about like in a taxable brokerage where like I could just pay for my own property taxes based off of like I toll a couple percent off of that, and then I would have enough fiat. And then you could also just like sell eggs and milk and meat to people, and then actually make have some decent income there. And then also like I would still be able to be an electrician like in the woods. In fact, that actually be a pretty cool thing to be. Be like, hey, I'm in the on-call electrician. Like if like you're in the boonies. Also like I need to get a snowmobile during the winter. Because like you're that far out in the sticks, even like freaking snow tires isn't going to work and stuff, but you'll want a snowmobile. So yeah, it's like all these considerations. But anyways, the things like I'd be planning would be like it just require a ridiculous amount of money, more than even like if I was still making 25. And the one thing is I can work overtime, so like I'll be able to go and come in early, stay late, go in on Saturdays, like work 6 days a week at the lower hourly rate, and still like keep the lights on, prevent myself from getting evicted, and go to Market Basket. But that's about that's about it. Yeah. Sounds like a fairly realistic dream. Yeah. So it's just the thing is that like I just need to get the ability to like get my savings rate up to do that. And then like once I buy the land, like it's decent land, then it's like because like a lot of because where I live, New Hampshire, like northern New Hampshire is a lot of woods, like a lot of wooded area. So you get like a massive plot of land that's a bunch of trees. As long as like it's decently flat, then you have to pay like a logger, maybe a couple $1,000 to like knock out a couple acres. You leave a couple of it so that way, because I'd love to have like pigs that have their own like pigsty, and then basically they can just go out into the woods and eat like acorns and forage around for stuff like that, and then they can come back and then they'd be healthy pigs, right? Not raised on like soy slop. They actually eat like acorns and real food and stuff like that. So they're healthy, healthy animals, which they produce healthy meat. And like one pig can feed you for so long. And then I'd like to build a greenhouse as well, so I can grow like sweet potatoes and onions and all the spices and stuff like year round. And then the whole thing is like I never have to go to a grocery store again. And then also the thing is like I never have to like interact with anybody. I never have to be seen ever again. It's like I just want my like little homestead and never have to interact with another human being again. Although that's an extremely toxic mindset to have. So let's see. My bro has to set up more, give or take. He's an HVAC guy. He just cares deeply about the work he does. Took him almost a decade to get there, but now is expecting his first kid or first homestead. But anyways, yeah, congrats. So Merc Lounge has got to go. Hopefully you have a good night. But yeah, I mean, Horseman number 3 is like, it's typical stuff that happens. With the Rippaverse, like, oh, another Rippaverse book came out. That's cool. Not that it isn't cool, but it's just like, it's a super basic pre-order release, and I actually like that. In that sense, like this is how it should be. Like it's just the book, and it's going to be coming out in a couple of months, so it'll be releasing. Less than 5 months is when it'll release, which is pretty cool. So can't wait to read Horseman number 3. Oh yeah, first kid. Yeah. Well, congrats to him. Yeah, the whole thing is like I would just build the homestead. And I mean I wouldn't expect to have a wife. That whole like having a wife thing, that was not in the cards for me. There was a time I thought it could have been, but very recently I've talked about that situation, and like women. That's the thing. Like women don't make any sense. And it's honestly it's lonely, but it's very peaceful not having that presence, because like you don't have to figure out like what she means, or like what her feelings are. Because I know if I had a wife, like I wouldn't. I mean, it's like I guess it'd be mean for me to say like, oh, I wouldn't care about her feelings. Like to some degree I would, but like mostly I wouldn't. But the thing is, like, you can't say, oh, I don't care about you. You have to pretend that you care about her feelings, when you really don't. That's the thing, is that like I know, like if I was married, if I was in a relationship with a woman, like it would be very. I imagine women would get very frustrated with me, because there's just be a whole bunch of stuff that I would do. She's like, why aren't you doing that, man? Like, why aren't you doing that? I'd be like, Joker, you don't care about how I feel. I said this, and this is like stuff I was experiencing, even though we weren't like dating or anything. There were things she said to me that like I completely misinterpreted, and she got frustrated with me. It's like, how else was I supposed to interpret it? And I know it's just like more stuff like that would happen. And if it was really like, it would be like more consequential. But anyways, that's the whole thing there. I don't know. That's what makes them wonderful. They're not all like that. Yeah, I know. Honestly, yeah, some of them are like willing to give you more. They're less neurotic, but there is a certain level of neuroticism that's inherent to being a woman. And while there are plenty of women that are more I say able, but they are much more regulated with how they express it, and they're much more healthy with it. But still, to a certain degree, there's still like that behavior that will just leave you like, yeah, what are you doing? And then like in interacting with them, because like this one friend that I had, there was stuff that she did made me think, maybe we could be more than friends. But she didn't mean it like that. But it came off as she did. And she got frustrated when I thought it was. Um, so and that's the whole thing, and it's like, oh man, but that like that whole thing was like, because I was just like, I was going insane, thinking like, does she? Because she said she didn't, but she just acted in a way was like, I do, maybe? Oh, man. I don't know. I could go on, but there's, like, too much personal stuff for me to, like, explain this whole situation. But anyways, but the whole thing with that is that, like, I wouldn't mind staying. I've always been single, and I wouldn't mind always being single, because it's very peaceful. Like, as a man, like, you don't have to deal with, like, women. Um and it's not like that. It's not that like women are like irredeemably awful, or you can't like. I can enjoy the presence of a woman. It's just that like I just would need that like clarity. So like unless like I don't know, unless like some woman is willing to like break into my apartment, greet me in her birthday suit, and try to have her way with me. I'm just going to assume she's not into me at this point. That is my only safe bet. But yeah, Horseman number 3. So I think Hector's single as well, and I think I wouldn't say entirely the same reasons as I'm single, but maybe it's similar. But yeah, I mean, I'm really just excited to see like how he deals with how he deals with his family, like how Chuck is like planning on like because it's going to be like the situation that Hector's in. I imagine it's not going to be permanent. Like he's going to reconcile with his family. He's going to deal with not how Cal Buxton. So I mean, we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I definitely love this. Love the Horseman. So many people do. Very very cool book. But yeah, there's really not much more to say other than that. Of course, I'll cover it on Braxcast Live, and I'll give some structured commentary. Not Braxcast, like Braxcast report. I got to go into work tomorrow, so who knows if I'll record it. I mean, I will record it, but who knows what time I'm going to record it. It's going to be a freaking mess. This weekend is just going to be busy. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm just like a mess, and I'll have like I haven't like been going to the gym that much because like the job starts so real flipping early. So yeah, it's just like I'm just not in this like super like stable position, and I was like that in New York because I mean I didn't have to pay rent because I was living in my room. So like it was a trade-off because like it was stable, but I felt very cramped and trapped, and I wasn't maturing emotionally. And now like I'm maturing emotionally, but it's a painful process. And it's also very like there's also a lot of uncertainty with like oh man, I mean if only I gotten like a cheaper place because then I wouldn't feel so worried about that. Even if I was making this less money, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's like, oh man, but my rent is so freaking expensive, and that's the thing. But the whole thing is that like rent is like living in New Hampshire is nice, but like I don't know, the cost of living here is not. It's better. It's a lot better than where I was living in New York, but New York is just so monumentally expensive. So I moved to like Kentucky or something like that. Um, Alabama, sure, like you make a lot less money, but also the cost of living is a lot lower. Everybody's saying to stay strong. It's almost spring too. That change in weather and sun is always a good boost. Yeah, certainly nice especially like when it gets warmer. Like, oh my god, I wake up, and I turn the heat off because I'm so like I don't want the gas bill to go off, so I won't run the heater through the night, and I'll wake up and it'll be like freezing cold, man. Oh man, I did the sub-zero hike, and I thought I would never be warm again. I did warm up, but man, God, that was something else, man. But yeah, there'll be some days where it'll be like 0 degrees out, and the apartment's just like I'm just freezing, like taking a shower, just like I dread it because like It's cold as soon as I step out. But yes, but yeah, spring will come soon, and I like the winter. I like the snow. I didn't get. I'm sure. I don't think I'm going to go skiing this winter. Next winter, God willing. I'll go skiing. Because I when I did Tecumseh, there was a ski resort, but of course, like I hiked the mountain. That was fun. But yeah, being able to like go on more hikes, not have to worry about freezing to death or post holing in the snow or anything along those lines. That will be nice. Um, yeah, but spring is a bit weird with like because you'll still have like a lot of snow on the mountains. Yeah, sunshine and possibilities chase that dream. Yeah, definitely doing like springtime hiking is going to be fun. Um, so like when like it's actually like warm out and I don't have to like wear free jackets just to go outside for those hikes will be fun. Don't have to wear like snowshoes. Because I had to in the last hike, and there's still places I post out. So post something is where like your entire leg goes through on the snow. So there when I got near only got near the summit of Mount Garfield. When I got near the summit there, like my entire like thigh, like snow up to my thigh, and it was like, oh, it was really hard for me to get out. And I'm 6 feet and a quarter inch, 6'1" basically, um, and and so I'm a big guy, and I like my entire leg was in the snow. So if I was a shorter person doing that alone, there's a decent chance I would have gotten like irredeemably stuck, like stuck up to my like my torso. Um, and I would have been screwed. Honestly, I was almost like screwed with that like situation. Like there were so many times during that hike, basically like half that hike, I thought I was going to freeze to death, and I remember like thinking, "Oh, if I stop now, I'm dead." But I didn't stop. I didn't die. I survived. I survived just barely, man. Oh man. Yeah, that was fun, man. Honestly, it might have been better if I just. Oh, that's what I think. Like, oh, if I had just frozen to death, didn't have to do any of it. But clearly, I'm here for a reason. And I don't know. I was just too resilient, man. Couldn't get me. But yeah, man. So yeah, it kind of put me off from like intense winter hiking. Just a little bit. I still want to do it. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. Well, with the way the thing is now, the work schedule, like going in on Saturdays consistently. But yeah, I mean, if I get like a job where I've got like 3 days a week off and one of them's a weekday, then because that would be like the Amazon job, Amazon delivery driver job. So, anyways, that's a whole up in the air thing. But I am going to end it here. The shorter live stream, very little, like I said, Horseman number 3 is what it is. And it's not like, oh, not that I'm not hyped for Horseman number 3. It's just that like there isn't much to talk about. And I liked Merc Lounge is out, FLA, it's really nice talking to you. But I think a lot of them are watching Rippaverse's or Eric's stream anyways. So we'll come back next week. Hopefully I'll be in a better frame of mind. And there'll be a bit more people in the chat because like that back and forth is always really nice. Not that like I liked having with Evelay, but a bit of a slower chat tonight. So I am going to end it here. I'll talk about Horseman Free in a very structured way, or a somewhat structured way on Braxcast 104, whatever one it is. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. You guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. Joker is out.